China has announced new policies to expand consumption and promote stable economic development. The policies were decided at a State Council meeting on Wednesday and include large infrastructure projects, higher export rebates and adjusted export tariffs. Wang Guan has the details.
The infrastructure projects include the gas pipeline between China's western region and the economic hubs of Guangzhou and Hong Kong. This will involve an investment of 93 billion yuan. The State Council also approved over 95 billion yuan for nuclear power plant expansions. These expansions will take place in the eastern province of Zhejiang and the southern province of Guangdong. It also approved another 17.4 billion yuan for projects such as the water conservation project in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. To help boost exports, the State Council announced that China would increase tax rebates on more than 3,770 items starting December the 1st. The latest round of rebates is aimed at exporters in labor-intensive sectors, particularly producers of electrical and mechanical goods. It's part of a campaign to stimulate domestic demand and promote stable and rapid economic growth. The central government also decided to get rid of the export tax on some steel, chemical products, and grains, and reduce the export tax on fertilizers. The State Council also announced plans to aid southwest China's quake-hit areas. The central budget will focus on a total of 51 cities, counties, and districts. Key areas will include housing, infrastructure, and transportation. They will also focus on poverty reduction. This plan will cost 300 billion yuan in total. The meeting also outlined policies to further support ecological reconstruction. The central government has singled out forestry as an important factor for rebuilding. Building up the forests will benefit farmers and bolster the environment in the quake-hit areas. Wang Guan, CCTV.
And to help you understand better these measures and other measures aimed at stimulating China's domestic economy, here's Wei Su joining us from the business desk with more on business and financial news. Hi, Wei Su.
Hello, Lucian. Thank you very much. That's a good introduction because we stay on that major effort to bolster domestic demand. But there will be other side benefits. One of these is protecting the environment. The Ministry of Environmental Protection has unveiled plans to promote a cleaner environment and spur the development of related industries. China has pledged to invest 1 trillion yuan, that's about $150 billion US, in the environmental protection sector. That will take place over the next 3 years. The focus will be on developing new energy and renewable energy, as well as techniques to save resources. The ministry hopes to stimulate economic growth by fostering development of large industries that safeguard the environment. Meanwhile, the government will help support small and medium-sized businesses to help them develop their own specialized products. Environmental officials say related policies will soon be enacted to enable fast development of these initiatives.
Development of the environmental protection-related industry should be at the core of boosting domestic demand, especially to promote the constant market demand for energy-saving products and those related to environmental protection to promote the sector's development.
Well, China is also set to expand the building of air transport and railway systems. The Bureau of Civil Aviation has released 30 billion yuan, taken from the recently announced economic stimulus package totaling 4 trillion yuan, to upgrade airports in the southwest of the country. Major beneficiaries will be air terminals in Chongqing, Yunnan and Guangxi. Meanwhile, even more investment is pledged for next year, when about 200 billion yuan will be used to expand major airports in Shanghai, Chengdu and Guangzhou. Construction will also begin on more than 60 feeder airports across the country, including those in remote areas, over the next 2 years. Well, to meet growing demand in the west of the country, more railways are also being planned. The Ministry of Railways has issued bonds of up to 30 billion yuan, all to finance construction on tracks all the way from Lanzhou to Xining. As part of government initiatives to ease credit controls and push up liquidity, Chinese banks have been urged to step up the volume of loans that they grant. Laurie Liu explains how this could add up to trillions of yuan in new loans over the next few months.
The Bank of China is the first domestic lender to release its credit expansion plan. China Development Bank, the Agricultural Bank of China, and China Construction Bank are also due to launch their stimulus plans aimed at pushing up lending. At a teleconference hosted by China Development Bank on Wednesday, CDB said that its status as a policy bank meant that its main task was to support the development of infrastructure in the country.
To stimulate domestic growth, China Development Bank has approved to issue 40 billion yuan in new loans. We're distributing the quotas nationwide as fast as we can. Our top priority is to support transportation projects, especially in railways and roads.
Meanwhile, the Agricultural Bank of China will also add up to 30 billion in new loans in the immediate term to the farming sector, with another 1 trillion yuan in new loans due over the course of 2009. Most of the money will be used to produce grain and develop projects to conserve water. The bank also says it will speed up housing loan procedures and give local branches the power to assess requests for loans.
With these adjustments, I believe growth in housing loans will change over the next few months. The rate was fairly slow during the first few months of the year, and will also offer favorable policies for first-time buyers or affordable housing projects.
China Construction Bank has also revealed plans to expand the level of loans. It aims to strengthen support for key national housing projects, saying it will add another 30 to 50 billion yuan in new loans by the end of the year. Lori Liu, CCTV.
Well, we'll have some data on bank loans in a moment, but first let's take a quick look at some just released economic data. This concerns annual growth in industrial output that slowed to 8.2% in October from 11.4% in September. October's figures marks the slowest pace in almost 7 years. And more data now. China's central bank says bank loans rose 15% year-on-year in October to hit nearly 30 trillion yuan. That's around $4 trillion US. According to the People's Bank of China, this marks the second straight month of increase in outstanding loans. Analysts say this is largely due to easing credit controls, while predicting further rises in the wake of the government's multi-trillion yuan stimulus package. Meanwhile, more figures for October. Money supply growth fell for the fifth consecutive month. The broad measure of money supply, that's M2, went up 15%. That was still around 0.3 percentage points lower than what was recorded in September. Experts say this could signal worries that commercial banks have about the outlook of the economy.